get some dinner on, and we'll keep you updated. We're not going dogging. Shut up. Dogging spot update. Stephen's about to brave the toilet. It's over there. It's open all night, which is bloody handy. We're inviting him in now, Steve. Oh no, there's lights. Shut the door. Good morning, Steve. Good morning. Say good morning to our lovely viewers.
Morning, viewers.
Morning, viewers. We're back again. It's a brand new day. We're out on the road, and we ain't got a bloody clue what we're doing, have we?
No, we're kind of like, oh, what do we do now?
No, we haven't got a clue. Things have kind of been turned upside down a little bit for us at the moment. So we had a first aid course booked near Malton that we were going to go to, emergency first aid at work. It was just something we had to do for our security jobs, but we've had to change that because we're going to start work on a different date, so we're going to have to do that at different time. So it's kind of changed our plans upside, changed them basically, but we realised we didn't really have any plans. We didn't know what we were doing.
No, we didn't know what we were doing from this point. We've looked at most of what we want to look at, really.
Yeah, we've done a lot of this area. We're still in East Yorkshire as we speak, but we're not sure where else to go at this point. However, there is something just down the road from where we are, and that's a little place called Cottingham. Now, we've heard loads of things about Hull, like people saying it's not very nice, it's not a great city, don't go there. I mean, we had locals recently saying don't go there, don't go there, and it's like, my God, can it be that bad? It's like, come on, like, we're not here to run down places. I kind of want to see for myself.
I kind of do, but I also feel like a lot of people saying there's nothing really in the high street or anything like that.
But it is a huge city, isn't it, really? Like, it is big. There must be more there. Wasn't it once a city of culture or something? I don't know. I don't know if that means anything, but... Well, I don't know if we're going to go to Hull or not, but what we are going to do is, because a couple of people have recommended this. In fact, one of our subscribers, Susie, thank you very much for recommending Cottingham to have a look at it. Yep. We're going to go and check that out today, just to have a quick look around. It does look quite nice. It's sort of like a separate mini town outside of Hull, isn't it?
Yeah.
The only thing we're a bit worried about is, I'm sure we've read that it floods a lot.
Yeah.
But it does look affordable. But is that worth the risk? And does it flood a lot?
I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we never will.
No.
So we're going to go to Cottingham, do that today, and then see where the rest of the week takes us.
Aye.
Let's crack on, shall we?
Then.
Let's go. So we've arrived in the little village of Cottingham. Yes, it's apparently a village, not a town. I thought it was like a mini town. However, the internet tells me that this is apparently, or it is reputedly, the largest village in England. I think we've seen a few that claim to have that title, haven't we?
I think so.
But yeah, Cottingham is possibly the largest, so we're not sure. I don't know though, Steve, like, my mind's all over the place now. I feel a bit, not that this is a pointless task, but we sort of feel like we love the idea of Driffield or Beverley, don't we, so much now, that if we were to do what we've been saying in these last few videos, that would be the place. I can't see anywhere topping Beverley, especially for what's gonna fit our needs and what we want to do. And the idea of us going there, and maybe staying in the van long term until we figure out a place to actually live in, that just feels like where we're at. But we're keeping an open mind. No, we've still got work in the van ahead. We're still doing our security job. We're still going to be out travelling, so we don't know when this is going to end or when we're going to move on to the next stage, if you like. So I think we're just going to enjoy our time this year and just enjoy a bit of travelling, because I think that town is the one for us if we do anything, don't you?
I think so.
Maybe. See, we're not sure. We can't decide.
And we're getting in the way as well.
We are in the way. So in the meantime, let's go and look around Cottingham, shall we? So while we're here in Cottingham, of course we've got to look at the properties. This one is not far from the town, and it's a 2-bedroomed terraced house, which looks really nice, I think, and it's up for 150,000. Not much of a back garden, but there is a little courtyard bit.
Right.
That seems like good value, like the size for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Right, moving on. Now this one here, this looks absolutely lovely, doesn't it, Steve? Little terraced, end of terrace house, and it's only up for 130. I really love the brickwork on that. But it is pretty small. It's got a very small little courtyard garden, which is fine, but one of the upstairs rooms looks more like a little cupboard, doesn't it? And bear in mind that estate agents normally try and make rooms look bigger, so if even the pictures couldn't manage it, well. Anyway, I still think that looks really nice. Quite cute. Yeah, and it's right opposite the lovely church there. So this one is delightful. It's just around the corner. It's up for nearly 170, I think, but 2 bedrooms. It's got a little conservatory, a little back garden. It's got all wooden beams inside. That just looks so lovely in this row.
How much is it?
Nearly 170, 169, I think. I think that's gorgeous. And the pictures inside make it look even better, although of course we know that isn't always the truth. Maybe at the side the render doesn't look so great. It looks like there might be some damp under that, I don't know.
That chimney needs repointing.
Stephen just said the chimney needs repointing. See, always can rely on Stephen to point out the little things, which is good. And this little end of terrace one here, that's up for 150, 2 bedrooms. It's got a little courtyard garden out the back, which looks quite sweet. I think you've got all of this as well, the grass there, and it looks really nice inside. It's a bit strange because it's set back from the road. But actually that could be quite nice. Peaceful. I guess you park in the front if you wanted. You could probably park here. I don't know. Well, no, that's their property, isn't it? I mean, in theory, you could park on that if that's part of it. But, you know, for the money, that's a reasonable size. 150. That's a reasonable sized and looking property, I think. So this one, oh my god, that's up for 155. It's 3 bedrooms. It's got a decent sized back garden, driveway of sorts, which you could do something with. Looks quite nice and spacious inside, doesn't it? I don't know what era you call that house style, Steve. It's sort of like post-war, but it's like not modern, is it? But it's sort of like, what, 60s, 70s, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
It's kind of got that look, isn't it? That kind of style when houses started popping up. Like, it's not as nice as the really old style ones we've seen, some of those classic terraced houses, but there's more space and it's still pretty nice.
Could hang lots of lovely things from there.
Yeah, you could do a lot with it. And it's really close to the town bit as well. And it's chip o'clock, Steve.
Cold chip o'clock.
Yeah, this is a disappointing one, I'm afraid. They look all right, but they are cold and they just feel a bit shriveled up. It's like they've been sat there for ages, so a bit disappointing, but reasonable sized portions of chips. And for both of ours, it was less than a £5 combined, so that ain't too bad. But, you know, when they're cold, that doesn't make...
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference.
It kind of undermines all the rest of it, so... we're going to eat them anyway. See, this is why... Like, it's always a gamble getting food, isn't it? And it's a gamble getting fish and chips. Had we got actual fish and chips and paid for the cod or whatever on top of it and then got chips like this, that would have been awful, wouldn't it, if we'd taken that away?
I mean, we could just walk back round there and say, excuse me, these are cold. Can we be asked?
By the time we realised they were cold, we'd already got back to the van. Yeah, this is a poor show. Anyway, Cottingham. Bit of a surprise, actually. I don't think we came here expecting much.
No.
But it is... it's just another pretty little place, just on the outskirts of Hull. There's a fair bit here. Not as much, I would say, out of Driffield and Beverley. This has the least. But it feels very safe, very quiet.
I like it here.
For me, nothing is comparing to Beverley. But Stephen's view is that we should, if we were to settle down, if we do this, like we keep repeating in every video, we might not do any of this. If we were to settle back down and go back to the old life and move into a home, like finding somewhere that's actually value for money, a decent size, is probably priority. But that's for Stephen, and he's right, and I do think like that as well. But for me, I think a place actually wanting to be there and liking the place, that probably comes top for me, and that's why Beverley is still top for me. But this place is a lot more affordable. Not a lot, but reasonably amount,
The
actually.
only thing I don't really like about this place is no leisure centre, I don't think.
No, we want a leisure
I
centre.
want to be able to go to the swimming pool and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If we want to settle down, we want a leisure centre. We might go to the gym again. We might go. Well, we will go swimming.
These chips are dreadful.
I can't get over how cold these chips are. They are rubbish.
No, yesterday's chips reheated, then gone cold again. These chips are absolutely dreadful.
It's like when you just got back to the van, we're a bit knackered. It's like we can't be bothered to go and take them back now. It's a classic English thing, really, isn't it? It's like, oh, I can't be bothered to complain. Except if you're my mum, and then she loves complaining, and she'll complain about any bit of food that isn't any good in a restaurant.
She would have been straight back in there.
She would have been straight back in there.
She would have seen they were cold, tasted them and said, I ain't paying for them.
She would have stormed out the back. Hi, Mum.
But we paid for them and half eaten them now, so
We have.
we're in too deep.
Well, by the time we bought them, took them back, got in the van, it's like you just can't be bothered to go back out.
No.
So we've got 3 options. I feel like Driffield, Beverley and Cottingham are all realistic prospects if we did want to settle down in this area.
I do like Yorkshire. Definitely.
Well, food for thought. Cold food
Except-
for thought.
Not hard, horrible, naked chips.
Yeah. Well, now we've eaten our cold and not very nice chips that we didn't take back because, well, we just couldn't be asked really, because we just got back to the van and we were hungry and they were only a couple of quid. And maybe because we're stupid Brits that just don't complain enough, I don't know.
They're just wimps.
We're just wimps. To be fair, we really just couldn't be bothered, could we? Look at us tearing ourselves apart about this, like we should have taken those chips back. Anyway, it was only a couple of quid each. It's like, but still, it's not the point, is it? It's just not the point. So now we're moving on. We're a bit confused really, because we were like, what do we do now? Where should we go? What should we go and see? We just have nothing planned. Feel a bit lost at sea at the moment. Not in a bad way. And we decided we are going to go and look at a little town, because we're still in East Yorkshire. We're still hanging around this bit for not for too much longer, but we're still here. So let's go and check somewhere else out. Now, this place we're going to, a few of you have recommended this little town. In terms of us settling down again in future, if we ever do that, I think this is probably going to be out of our reach price wise. It looks a little bit expensive, but it does look like a really lovely little place to visit. So that's why we're going, just to have a look around, just to have a nose and see what's what. And that's it. And we'll tell you about that place when we get there, or tomorrow, or whatever. Because I think we're going tomorrow, aren't we? Well, good evening all. We have moved on. We're settling down with a very small bottle of Desperados. Or Desperado. Silent S, I guess.
We like the moderation.
We do. So, we've moved on to a little park up, and we've actually been here before about a year and a half ago, haven't we? We're still in East Yorkshire somewhere. I'd show you, but it's dark, but also I'm a little bit scared to open the door. So, this is one of these places that... This is kind of like a bit like a van life rite of passage, really. Like when you stay in different places, you will inevitably at some point come to the park-ups that are known for people meeting up, and that's the polite way of putting it. That's the clean way of putting it. Dogging, yeah, dogging. Why the hell is it called dogging?
Well, it's the straight version of cruising.
Yeah, but what's the dog aspect?
The gay men cruise and the straight's dog.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
Most of the dogging seems to be by men looking for other men, if what we've seen is anything to go by. Especially on our travels in 3+ years in this van, we've seen a lot.
Yeah.
So we're in this little park up, and oh my god, like we weren't used to this, because it was like normally this kind of dogging activity takes place late at night. Well, we got here and it was like 4 o'clock, and there's somebody very clearly sort of on the lookout and going in and out of the toilet and stuff. I feel like I'm whispering now because people are outside. Like, what if they can hear me talking about it all?
Not showing them, are we?
No, showing them what, Steve?
Well, who it is.
So yeah, getting here in the afternoon, and there's people on the go with it already, and it's like I thought it was a late night thing. Like, God, you can't have even had any dinner yet. I mean, honestly. Must be in a
sit
rush.
there and avoid eye contact while we're putting up a blind. It's like, no, don't look at them, don't look at them.
So where we're parked, by the way, there's public toilets, which obviously for us, although we've got a toilet in the back, you know what our van's like, it is very small, so it is handy for us to be near toilets because it's just easier, isn't it? So we do try and do that if we can, and this is a good one for that, especially because they're actually open all night. But it seems that such things often attract that type of activity as well. So yeah, it's going on early evening here, like they can't wait. No time to get home, no time to change, finish work, straight on it.
Well, they need to get it done before they get home to with their other half.
Well, yeah, this is the thing, isn't it? Like maybe they need to kind of get it out the way, and it's like I'm only going to be half an hour late, and then they're on their way home. God, it's a funny world, isn't it? It's a very in-depth business, this. So yeah, that's where we're parked. When you're in vans, like, you will get used to that in places, often lay-bys. I tell you what, as long as you park's fine and keep yourself to yourself, it's no bother, is it?
No, I think we've had like a few shenanigans go outside our van before. Like the very first night, there was people outside selling drugs.
Yeah.
And we've had people outside, you know, running into bushes and you know, all kinds of shenanigans. And
it's generally like a cartoon,
nobody generally bothers you because what they're doing, they don't want people to know about. So they don't want you getting out and start shouting and having a go because they're trying to do something discreet, if you like. So they tend to leave you alone. They're not really hurting anybody. They're just having sex with each other. It's up to them, isn't it?
Yeah, and they might actually try and get your attention sometimes because they might think, are you interested? Like when we parked up, the eye contact, and somebody went in the toilets and somebody followed, and then he come out, and then somebody went in, and he went back in. I don't think he was having much luck, this poor guy, was he? No. Nobody was interested. Most people go in just want a wee, you know? No. So, yeah, like, we're never really put off by it because it's like, actually, they keep themselves to themselves, and actually it means we're probably going to have no bother sleeping overnight in a place and somebody being funny about that, because that's what bothers us, you know?
I think sometimes they don't like it when people sleep in their dogging area because it puts them off.
Maybe, but I've not seen any evidence of that. Like, what I'm saying is most people who are doing that stuff are not going to be the sorts that are going to suddenly complain to people that there's somebody sleeping in a lay-by, because it's like, what are you doing there then?
Those are the people working in the councils complaining, no, they're in my dogging spot.
Oh, maybe. That's it. So the people putting up all these overnight parking things, they're the doggers.
No overnight parking because I have to go there to find
I've got to go out cruising. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so that's what's happening here. You get used to it. It happens everywhere. Lots of men staring in cars. Sometimes there's women. Usually it's men.
And it happens in all the countries we've been in so far. Yeah,
it wasn't unique to the UK. It's definitely in France and Spain, Germany.
Yeah, definitely. It's everywhere.
The only thing is, if we do need to nip in and use the toilet, it's like, we ain't doing it until everybody's gone, because, like, Christ, you know, it's like, that's just awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, sorry, I'm just doing my business, not that business.
You'll be fine anyway, just don't make eye contact.
It sounds terrifying, like some wild animal, Steve. Yeah. So yeah, we might show you the comings and goings of this place. We'll show you in the morning, but it's a bit difficult because it's dark. Fun and games, dogging in the UK, and we're just sitting amongst it all.
It's really common.
And I think people do tend to look at us more because obviously we're two blokes together, so they think, oh, is there more of a chance, you know, like maybe I can get in on that.
It's just a throwback from when we had smartphones, because all this stuff happens now, like outside of car parks. People are just on their smartphones, like with their Tinder matches or Grindr or whatever app there is, because there's apps for every kind.
Yeah.
So it's all still going on. It's just normally much more behind closed doors.
But it's weird though, isn't it? Because it's like, in the day and age of internet apps and stuff, like how is this still so popular? But as Stephen said earlier, it's like, is it just the thrill of it? Like
the thrill, isn't it?
And the fact there's still a sense of anonymity about it. That you I can't say that word. Anonymity. Anonymous.
Well, our doors will remain firmly locked.
Yes, we will keep our doors locked, and we'll keep ourselves to ourselves, and that's it. We'll have our desperados. I bet you didn't expect the channel to go in this direction tonight.
No.
I'm going to get some dinner on, I think. I'm going to get that pasta cooked. That's what we're having. And then we'll settle down. And keep the doggers at bay. So keeping the wilder animals away. No, they're perfectly fine. They're harmless.
Well, we say that. Might not be later.
I mean, they are harmless. They don't come out like aggressive, do they? Actually, they can be aggressive.
They can be sometimes.
But not aggressive in they're going to attack you kind of a way. There is worse to be scared about in a van than people dogging. That's all we're saying. It's just one of the slightly amusing things you will always encounter regularly. You have to know the signs though, like they do different flashes, don't they? And we don't know what they mean.
We tried to look that up, didn't we? Like to see what the different ones are. Like if you've left your internal light on, it means you like being watched. Something like that.
He knows a lot. What's this about, Steve? Oh yeah,
I read it.
Oh
and
yeah.
we know somebody that does that kind of thing, or did that kind of thing.
We did actually.
So they did tell us like something about the light.
Oh, that's true. We did have a friend that did that.
Telling
Yes.
us about the internal light being on. That means you want somebody to come over and watch.
A girl, I might add. So it is just his girls as well.
Yeah, they know it wasn't a bloke.
Right, well, we're rambling. We're going to settle down, get some dinner on, and we'll keep you updated. We're not going dogging. Shut up. We've decided to take a new direction on this channel.
Yeah.
Lord, can you imagine?
Dog along, dear.
Dog along, dear. Dogging along in laybys.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you later on.
Bye.
Right, dogging spot update. Stephen's about to brave the toilet. It's over there. It's open all night, which is bloody handy, let's be honest.
There's a bit of spinach in the bed.
There's a bit of spinach in the bed. That's nothing. There's often cheese in the bed. Bit of olive oil. We're sophisticated in this bed. Get olive oil in the bed, Steve. Well, good luck.
Wish me luck.
I wish you luck. He's back. Did you survive, Steve?
Aye, I did. In the end, then.
Were you propositioned?
No.
Well, that's disappointing. How are we going to make a video out of this then?
Well, there was two people coming out of the toilet as I went in.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know what they was doing. And then I went in.
They must have just needed a wee,
I
right?
went in, and then I had a wee.
No!
Yeah.
Is that it?
I've been dogged.
Oh my God. Well, this is shocking stuff going on here. Stephen went in the toilet and he had a wee. Well, I must admit, Steve, we were hoping for more juicy gossip, but maybe we weren't actually. Like, careful what you wish for, eh? I think there's a van parked behind us, so maybe he's staying for the night. He or she.
He's probably coming over because you've got the window open.
Oh shit, we've opened the door. We're inviting him in now, Steve. Oh no, there's lights. Shut the door. I think they're going. We're fine. We're safe.
Anyway, for those viewers that don't know, we're talking about dogging and cruising. The actual term for men having sex in toilets is called cottaging,
Oh yeah.
which has no class.
Well, I have to say, cottaging sounds like going out for a lovely slice of cake and a cup of tea, so I think it's an okay word.
Cruising is when you go out, you go walking along the seafront, or you sit around a car park.
Look how he knows all this. I mean, are you not concerned?
I
am.
wasn't born yesterday.
You might not have been born yesterday.
Oh, come off it. As if you don't know.
I don't know the exact meanings like you do. I'll tell you what, he's been around a lot more than I have, and we'll say no more about that.
And there's all different terms for all different kind of sexual activities and preferences.
Well, I know that. We all know that.
Yeah, I know. I was just about to say.
Are you educating the viewers
Yeah,
on
I am
this?
actually. It's
Oh
quite
my
interesting,
God.
actually.
Well, since we're going down this absolutely rotten route here, I've looked up the word cottaging because I was curious, and it originated in the 1960s, and it did indeed refer to men who used to meet up in toilets that resembled old cottages. Of course it did, because that's what, actually, if you go into like public toilets in the UK, a lot of the really older ones, they were in actually really quite nice buildings, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like little mini houses of sorts. Yeah. So cottaging used to refer, and still does, to men meeting up in toilets, even if they're not like those lovely old buildings anymore. So that's that.
Yeah.
And it used to be a word a bit like cruising, that was like a code word so people could meet up secretly without giving the game away.
Yeah, well, we've just given the game away.
We're giving it all away now. We've revealed the lot of you, including in this car park, although we haven't disclosed where it is.
No, we won't do that.
No, we won't. Maybe not now. Don't want to ruin people's fun, eh?
No.
Or marriages. Luckily, in the year 2025, nobody needs code words anymore to meet up for mutual exchanges. That sounds a nice way to put it, doesn't it? Oh God, that sounds gross, actually.
It's a bit like right move, isn't it? It's like 2 up, 2 down means who's top, who's bottom.
Oh, for God's sake! Yeah, so nobody needs code words anymore in the world of apps and internet things and stuff like that. Except when you're in a van, you realise absolutely this is fully alive and well. The cottaging industry is absolutely thriving, as is the cruising industry, as is the dogging industry. They're not struggling at all. They're doing quite well, aren't they?
No.
Lots of footfall, lots of people coming and going.
Yeah.
It's doing well for itself.
One of the first places we stayed at, wasn't it? It wasn't like what we talked about earlier, but we stayed up near the roundabout, didn't we, in Kent? And
let's not give that away.
all right,
We might ruin people's fun there.
In some undisclosed area. And it was a dogging area, so it was straight. So you could hear them all talking outside.
It was a whole community. They all knew each other. They knew each other's names. They come out for a night out. They're almost like their secret lives, wasn't
It
it?
was like, "You're right, Sherry," and she was like, "All right, boys."
Stacey, her name
Oh,
was.
Stacey.
It was like, "You're right, Stacey. Yeah, you're right, boys." And then a bloke, bless him, he was going around from car to car, trying to get in on the action, and nobody was interested. And they said, "No, sorry, I'm not feeling it with you." And well, he just didn't have a good night, did he?
No, he didn't. He was like, "All right then.
Yeah,
All right, fair enough."
All right, fair enough. Yeah, it was all very civilised, all very polite. You know, okay, you're not interested. I'll be off then. But he was obviously a regular there, so he was obviously just having a bad day. I'm sure he had better nights. You know, he was probably there most nights of the week.
Aye, and don't even get us started on the trucker scene.
The trucker scene.
Yeah. The truckers.
That's a whole other thing. Honestly, it's a minefield.
There's an app for them.
Why does he know all this?
Why-
Jesus.
We know this.
Only because you told me.
Whatever.
That's because you told me. I'm very concerned, viewers. Very concerned.
Yes.
Well, anyway, we've got our dinner ready. We're going to have a couple of beers.
Yeah.
We're going to settle down and hopefully we're not
We're going to go cottaging.
cruised. Cottage. No, we're not going to go cottaging. Do you want to go cottaging?
No, I don't want to go cottaging.
I mean, it sounds exhausting. It just sounds like far too much effort to me. Like going in some cold, grimy toilet in the middle of winter. Like, give over. I want a nice hotel room. I want to be taken out for a meal. I want champagne. I don't want that. All right, let's call it a night. We'll let you know if there's anything interesting on the dog in front. I very much doubt it.
No.
But we'll show you the area tomorrow. Or maybe not. Well, no, we'll just show you.
Yeah, tomorrow it'll be all wholesome and everything, won't it?
Yeah. We'll show you where we parked up tomorrow, and then we're going to crack on with our day, visiting the next town we're going to go and see.
Aye.
So, dogging escapades over with. This is tonight's dinner. Fusilli. I can't remember how you say it now, Steve. What is it?
Fusilli.
Fusilli. Oh, that sounded good.
Fusilli.
Sounded proper Italian. With some Parmesan cheese and all the other stuff I put in. My God, I can't remember what it was now.
Pesto, pasta, chicken.
That's it. Pesto, spinach, and chicken. And some other bits and bobs.
Fusilli.
And I've topped it with some rocket and I've put some more Parmesan cheese on there for you. That's £25.60, please.
You can piss off.
Morning. Brushing your teeth is one of the most boring things, isn't it? It is so dull and just kind of, it feels like it lasts forever. Why is that?
I know.
It's almost like you're referring to being a kid again and like you're just rebelling and you're like, no, I don't want to do it. And you've got to do it. Ugh. Morning, Steve. Morning. We survived the dogging hotspot. Of course we did. It was absolutely fine. It's never an issue, is it? It's just is what it is. Or should we say the cruising hotspot or the cottaging hotspot? As Stephen put it, it's an eclectic mix, isn't it?
It's an eclectic mix of sexual promiscuity.
Yes, an eclectic mix of sexual promiscuity. Well, that's fine. Whatever people want to do, you know. At least they're fairly quiet about it. After it got a bit later in the evening, it really quietened down. I think there might have been another van here, but we couldn't quite see. And yeah, nothing really happened. So there was no disturbances, which was great. Nobody just turning up in the middle of the night. There was a few people turning up in the morning. I think a lot of them, like there was people emptying the bins, but workers just stopping to use the toilet, genuinely to use the toilet by the looks of it. So that happened. I mean, maybe it goes on in the morning as well. I don't know. But here is the spot we're staying at, and that's the toilets, and they are open all night, so that is really, really handy. Yesterday in Cottingham, we did a little tour through the charity shops, as we love to do, and we picked up a few items. So we got this Gap jumper, which I picked out, and then Stephen kind of claimed for himself, but it was £1, you know, £1. It looks quite nice, actually, doesn't it? So I don't know who's going to have it. Maybe you will, maybe we'll share it. I'm not sure yet. You'll have it, will you? I might try it on as well. We do find we share clothes quite a lot in this van because it's just like you grab what you can find sometimes. And that's what you have to do. So there we go. Jumper, £1. Dean's rolling his eyes at me now because I'm doing something really boring. And we picked up a couple of books. So I've got a couple of other books to read, so I don't know why I keep adding to the list. But we got Elizabeth is Missing. Now this was a really good BBC drama. I think, was it Glenda Jackson who was in it a few years back? And she plays an older lady who I think has dementia, and it's a bit of a mystery as well, but the BBC drama is so good, and Glenda Jackson is amazing in it, so I would definitely check that out. It might be on iPlayer, but I've never seen the book, so I thought I'd give that a read. And also we got Iris Murdoch, The Sea, won the Booker Prize apparently. I've heard of it, I don't know much about it, I just thought I'd give it a go. Just trying to look cultured, Steve, you know. Just got to look cultured on camera.
I think you have to read it first.
Oh no. Oh, the writing's quite close together. It's a bit much, really. Right, so 20 minutes later, we have driven just down the road and we are in a little town called Malton. We're not sure how to say it. We're going to look that up in a minute, but we're going to assume it's Malton, right? Maybe it's Malton. I feel like Malton sounds right. Maybe it's a north-south thing, however you say it. I don't know. We'll find out in a minute. I'm probably just going to ask the local or something. So this place, a few of you have actually recommended this. So I'm glad we've come here before we disappear back down south again, because we've got to go off to work again soon. So a few of you have recommended it, and this town is apparently the Yorkshire capital of food, or the food capital of Yorkshire, should I say. Because there are lots of shops and restaurants and little things that very much pride themselves. In fact, the entire town is supposed to pride itself on kind of locally produced food, sort of artisan goods, all kind of like fine food, stuff like that. And you'll find various food and drink all around the town, butchers, greengrocers, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to go and investigate that. Let's go and look at Malton. So we went into one of the little butchers. It seems very popular actually, and they do all sorts of different things in there, but they do hot food as well. So I got myself a lamb and mint pie. That was £2.80, but looks quite tasty. Very difficult to film right now the way I'm sitting. So far it's nice. It's very posh, quite a posh little place. Lots of nice little independent shops, stuff like that. It seems all right, but it is very quiet, isn't it? Exceedingly quiet. Now I appreciate it's a Tuesday in January, however we have noticed quite a few closed up places, haven't we? Especially what looks like they used to be old pubs. We've noticed about 3 or 4 of them that seem to be closed, and a few other things. So you wouldn't necessarily come here and think, oh, thriving town, but again, I appreciate it's January, so you can't necessarily go by that. I'm going to stop the camera now because it's quite difficult to film this. Sorry, my finger's been over that for some of this.
You're going to drop your pie.
I'm going to drop my pie, but this is very nice. Lamb and mint pie. It is very, very tasty and quite substantial. So we just bumped into a man who said, very kindly said, can I help you with anything? And we said, no, we're just having a look round. And he said, oh, and he saw me taking pictures and filming, and he said, have you seen the giant Yorkshire pudding recipe sign? I didn't realise it was this big. So it's on the side of a building, and we just found it. So it's given you, I think it gives you all your ingredients to make a proper Yorkshire pudding, and then how to do it. I'm not going to read all that out, obviously, but that's quite a nice thing to have on the side of a building, especially in this, what they call the self-appointed food capital of Yorkshire. So we were kind of mistaken. There's actually a lot more here than it seems, isn't there?
Yeah, we actually got to the proper town.
Yeah, this feels like two different separate bits. So you've got the posh bit, if you like, with all the little independent shops and food places in the square, and then you've got this street here. Oh, Stephen was bored by it. I thought it was quite nice. I mean, you have to be interested in whatever the shop is selling, but I thought it was nice to look at, like the whole area. And then you've got this part, which is like a bit of a normal town, really. So you've got the two different halves.
We spotted cake.
And now we spotted cake. Fatal, this is. So, probably the most interesting fact about Malton to me is the fact that this house behind us was actually a friend of Charles Dickens. He was a solicitor and his offices were based here. Now, Charles Dickens used to visit this place. He used to visit his friend who used to run his solicitor business in this very building. I think he visited quite regularly. And this exact building was the inspiration for Ebenezer Scrooge's, what do you call it? His offices. His offices in A Christmas Carol. So this thing, and I don't think that's vague. I think it's kind of like a known thing. I don't think it's like the Tolkien door in Stow on the Wold, where it was like nobody's really sure one way or the other. I believe this really was where Charles Dickens actually did visit, and it inspired Ebenezer Scrooge's offices in A Christmas Carol, which I think is pretty amazing, actually. And you can see how, looking at it, you know, it's not gigantic, but you can absolutely see how it would inspire that. What's really sad about it, however, is it used to be a museum, and it's completely shut up now. And more, apart from anything else, this is up a little alleyway. You would walk past it without knowing any of that. And I just think that's quite an amazing thing you'd want to celebrate, you'd think, as a town, because it's probably Dickens's most famous story, right? A Christmas Carol. And this building being an inspiration for one of the key parts of it, I just think that's something quite special. And like, there's not even a sign at the end of the alleyway saying come this way to see the Dickens house. So there you go. But a lady just went past us. She said about the Charles Dickens place, and she said how sad it was. I think she said were they overcharging or something?
Rents, the person that owns it, the rents are too high.
The rents were too high to justify keeping the museum going, which is just like, that's so sad, because that feels like a really significant place to me in terms of literature history.
And what she also said is, and she made a really good point, is it's been closed for ages now, and all the damp's going to get in there. And that building is going to suffer.
It's just going to go slightly to ruin until somebody does something.
What are you gaining by refusing to let
Nothing.
it out for less?
And as we've said, like, you don't even know it's there until you just. It's only because I looked it up online and I found it. But there are a huge amount of pubs that are closed here. I think we've actually noticed maybe one that's open. I'm sure there's more than that, but there are loads, aren't there, that are closed. And the lady made a good point. There are a few places that are shut here, just shut up shop. Because the rent is so high.
I've seen 4 pubs and only one of them are open, the rest are closed down. So I think out of all the 3 towns we've seen recently, this one's got the most closed businesses.
Do you reckon?
I think so.
I wouldn't say it's got the most, but it's definitely another town that does still have that.
And it's also, what you can also take from that is actually the prices of the properties to live here are more expensive. It's like it's becoming a victim of itself in many ways.
I mean, we don't know that to be like. There's lots of towns where the properties aren't as expensive and half the high street is shut, so it works both ways. But here, you know, even though it seems like a posh, thriving town, there are clearly still struggles.
I think people are nice. It's a nice place to come and visit. I wouldn't want to live here because there's not enough here.
No, I still prefer Beverley. Beverley's got my heart. I prefer Beverley.
Come on, let's get back to the van.
Aye. So we are back at the van. By the way, this is a free car park. We were very lucky to get a space. It's very popular. So you can park for free here. You can't stay overnight, and it's like a 5-minute walk to the town. So that's really good. Did enjoy Malton. Like, it's still a nice place. Interesting place. Quite pretty. I know he's not that impressed, but like, why are we shocked by that anyway?
It's been my usual grumpy.
Yeah, so everything's as normal. But before we move on, one thing I would just say is that nice as it is, I don't think it's nice enough to justify just how much more expensive the house prices are here compared to, say, Beverley, Driftwood, say, lots of the places we've seen, in fact, the fact that they are so much higher, I don't think it quite warrants that. It might feel like it warrants that. There might be people who disagree, but from what we've seen, I wouldn't say it warrants it being that much higher. The other thing I'd say, because we just love to bang on about things, obviously, well, I do, the shops in Malton, they're all very nice, like really lovely little things to look at, unique independent shops. That is great, but like it's not necessarily always practical. So if you're thinking of a place to live, it's not something that would benefit us, and probably quite a lot of people, really. So you've got like independent clothes, kids' clothes shops, women's clothes stores. You might have there's like a candle store or a gift store, all that kind of stuff. It's all very pretty. It's lovely to look at and visit, but it's not of like great use to us, is it, in general? So I kind of feel like Malton is one of those places that's almost like a tourist town rather than a town that we'd ever particularly want to live in, which is not to run it down at all. Like it's great, it's got so many good things about it, but that side of it doesn't make it for us, you know. It's more of an aesthetically pleasing thing than anything else, which still has its merits, you know. We still want to live somewhere that looks nice, but we want the balance of it being quite practical as well. Although, to be fair, the normal bit of the town did have some more regular shops, didn't it? Yeah. Oh, we've got our suntan light on again, Steve. Except it looks more like sunburn.
It's a bit pale.
How? You don't look pale.
No?
No, I don't think so. Except when we film these and then watch it back, I swear it looks different, because I feel like it looks different when you're looking at it like this. Anyway, we're digressing already. We're going off point. Look, we're going to end the video there, I think. We're very tired. And that's it, bye. See you next week. But no, we're very tired. We've settled down. We did our washing. We went to the laundrette, didn't we?
Yeah, it's very boring.
It was very boring. What was the point of filming that? We did some washing, but we managed to park in Tesco for free, which is great. Always remember that, by the way, in a van. If you're looking for somewhere to explore a town, check that there's a supermarket, because quite often the Tesco or something will have like 3 hours free parking. Just make sure you go in and buy something. I mean, that's a lot easier than trying to find a car park, isn't it?
It is, but I do think we might have gone over our hours, so it might not have actually been very cost effective.
No, we didn't. Wasn't it 3 hours? Or was it 4?
It was 3 hours. And
oh, maybe we did then.
I think we were just cusping.
Yeah, because it takes a while to do your washing. We went in and did some actual shopping, came back, put it away, and then went and did the washing, and of course drying the stuff, and then walking back, and it was a 10-minute walk each way from the car park. Oh, God. Oh, we'll worry about that in future, yeah, if we get a fine. But right now, we have got some dinner on. We've got a beef madras curry. Not particularly interesting to film because it's a jar of curry paste. But that's what we got.
Quick and dirty madras.
Yeah, lovely stuff. Going to get the rice on soon. And that's it. We will cut the video there, I think. And we'll see you next time.
Yep. So please push the like button. Very important to push the like button. Push it.
Push, push, push. Do it.
Push subscribe if you like the channel.
And that as well. Do it.
And push your notification bell if you want to be notified when the next video.
Yeah, or else, eh? I just want to add one quick thing. We're at that point again where we're kind of filming videos a little bit in advance because we've got to go to work for a couple of weeks. Obviously at work we don't usually film or do anything because we can't get out, so we try and stack a few videos up so there's still something to watch each Sunday. So by the time you watch this one, we might be sort of halfway through our work or even towards the end of it. So that's just to explain that again. I've explained it many times before, but I just like to chuck it in there. All right then. All right. Right, thank you for watching. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.